In this video, we're going to look at how to use peer assessment within an It's Learning assignment. Let's get started. So to begin with, you're going to go to your It's Learning course, create an assignment like you normally would, but then over in the right-hand column where you see all the different options for your assignment, you're going to look for the peer self-assessment block. Notice it's down here at the bottom of this column. If I can scroll down, there's more things, but you're looking for it here. Now, in order to have the option to require peer assessment, notice a little pop-up tells me I have to set a deadline on this assignment because things have to be due before it assigns who's going to review the submissions. So up here under deadline, I can just say I want this to be tomorrow at midnight when it's due. As soon as I choose a deadline, then notice peer assessment is active, so I'm going to check that. And then it's going to ask me, how many students do you want to have review each student's submission? So there's a drop down, you can choose however many you want. I'm going to go ahead and say 2. And then while I'm here, I'm just going to point out that once the deadline passes, the assessment task will be distributed amongst the students within the class. The students will be notified. I'm going to show you how that works here in just a second. Notice there's also the option for requiring self-assessment. So this is a great way if you just want the students to make sure they look over their work, they evaluate themselves, and then possibly compare their evaluation to yours. That's just another option. So after I've gone ahead and set this, I've got everything for the assignment ready, I'll hit save. So now I want to show you what it looks like on the student side. So now I'm logged in as one of my students in my course with the assignment. And I want to show you what happens on the student end for this peer assessment. First off, up here on the notification bell, if I click there, the student will get a notification that says that feedback is available. And so they can click here and go to that assignment, or they can just go into the course, go to resources, and go to that assignment. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that assignment. The deadline has already passed, so the student has already submitted their work. And then notice what happens here on this assignment. It now shows 2 student submissions within the class that it is asking this particular student to assess. So they have the 2 buttons to assess their peers. Then they see the 2 students who have been assigned to review their work. And once other students actually do assess their work, notice it'll tell them when it was assessed, and then they can view that work. And then down here, they can see what they actually submitted. So I'm going to go here to the first one that they were assigned to do assessment on. So I'm going to click Assess Peer. And it's literally just going to open that student's submission, and they're going to see if there's a file, a document, whatever. If they just type something. And then the student is going to put their feedback down here. I'm just going to just say good for now. And then they can say save and assess next. It'll take them to the second student's assessment that they need to peer review. And they could say work on whatever. And once again, save and assess next. So once they've gone through and they've looked at both of those, I'm going to cancel this out. It's going to show that they have peer reviewed both of those. They could go back at any time and look at them again. But then down here, like I said, this is where they see what the student has said to them. So once it's been assessed, the view button will be active. So they can click there and go in and look at the review that they got from another student. Let's then look back and see what it looks like on the teacher side. Now I'm back in my course in the assignment that I assigned to the peer assessment in. And notice where you're used to seeing the list of submissions, you now see the status shows peers have assessed. And it'll tell you how many have completed the assessment versus how many you have assigned. So on each of these, 1 out of 2 have been assessed. Now if I click on peer assessment, it's going to show the assignment like what you're used to seeing. So I'll see what the student submitted up here at the top. And then I will see what the other students have submitted as the assessment. So I can click here on View, and I can see what other students said to them. Then I can also go down here and look at what that student said to other students. So you can see everything that's happening with this peer assessment, so students cannot be typing or writing anything inappropriate. If for some reason there is something that is inappropriate, notice here for the three dots, I can click and I can click delete. Additionally, like you're used to, you still have the choices over here at the side in terms of changing the status, putting feedback, recording feedback. If you have a rubric, the rubric would show here as well. So you still do the things you normally do in terms of assessing, and you can still click to the right and get to the next student's submission. I hope that helps you understand how to use peer assessment in an itslearning assignment.